Welcome back to another explainer. In every massive office scandal, there is usually that one tiny mistake that brings the whole house of cards crashing down. A misplaced file, a forwarded email. But today, we are diving into a gripping corporate thriller where the smoking gun was just a single deleted calendar invite. We're looking at the anatomy of a real corporate cover-up at Halden and Rowe. How does one missing digital footprint take down a toxic manager? Well, grab your coffee because we are getting right into it. So the villain of our story today is a recently promoted manager named Lucas Reed. And Lucas forgot one unbreakable rule of corporate IT. Hiding something from your screen does not hide it from the company's master audit log. Lucas thought he was a genius. He quietly stole a massive project from a brilliant analyst named Maya, slapped his own name on it at 11:59 p.m., snagged a promotion, and thought he had scrubbed the timeline totally clean. But as we're going to see, IT systems have a very long, very precise memory. Come Monday morning, the entire office was buzzing. Everyone kind of suspected Lucas stole Maya's work. And Maya? She had an absolute mountain of receipts, screenshots, early drafts, time-stamped versions of the dashboard Lucas suddenly claimed as his own. But Senior Director Clara hit her with the ultimate corporate roadblock. She asked Maya, "Can we prove intent?" That word, intent, is huge here. Because a messy file transfer, you can blame that on tight deadlines or stress. But intent means premeditation. Maya needed undeniable proof that Lucas didn't just make a clumsy mistake, but actually calculated a strategic move to erase her. And planning a move like that always leaves a paper trail. Enter Emma Park. Emma was an intern who had only been at the company for 9 weeks. She was practically invisible, spending her days doing these mundane, repetitive tasks. Booking rooms, renaming folders, fixing spreadsheet filters. Most people honestly forgot she was even in the room. But man, that was a massive mistake on their part, because doing all that low-level administrative grunt work gave Emma total, unfiltered access to the system's hidden secrets. Assigned to pull a clean timeline for the internal audit, Emma was suddenly looking at the raw data that absolutely nobody else bothered to double-check. And it doesn't take her long to spot a massive, glaring discrepancy. She's cross-referencing the building logs, and they clearly show 3 executives, Lucas, an HR partner named Vanessa, and finance lead Brent, scanning into conference room 14B on a Thursday night at 7:04 p.m. The tablet shows the room was active for exactly 45 minutes. But then Emma checks the user calendar. Nothing. Completely blank. Oh, and get this. Room 14B? That's the exact same room where Lucas would later present Maya's stolen project to leadership. This triggers a massive lightbulb moment for Emma. There's a crucial difference here between a calendar being empty and a record being missing. Think about it. An empty slot just means nothing happened, right? Maybe someone ducked into a room for a quick personal call. But a missing record, especially when 3 department leaders scan into a room with project-related intent, that means a strategic cover-up had just taken place. Someone didn't just forget to book that room. Someone actively wanted the record of that meeting completely wiped from existence. Of course, Lucas starts sensing the audit is getting a little too close for comfort. So what does he do? He tries to corner the intern. He drops by Emma's desk, acting super casual, and delivers this absolute textbook threat wrapped up in friendly career advice. He literally says, "I would hate for people to think you were making noise instead of adding value." He reminds her about her upcoming internship review, basically implying that digging into old records is going to make her look like a troublemaker. Classic gaslighting. He is actively trying to scare her into dropping the investigation. But spoiler alert, his intimidation tactic completely backfires. Emma realizes something profound right then and there. From toxic management, pressure often sounds an awful lot like advice. When Lucas walked away, thinking he had successfully handled the naive intern, he actually just confirmed to Emma that she was looking in the exact right place. I mean, he wouldn't be trying to scare her off if there wasn't something massive hiding in those Thursday night logs, right? So Emma pivots. To bypass his cover-up, she goes straight to IT specialist Noah. She knows that sure, Lucas can delete an invite from his personal Outlook calendar, but he cannot touch the compliance archive. This is an independent, back-end database that is completely immune to user deletion. Emma asks Noah a brilliant, simple question. If someone deletes an invite, is it gone from everywhere? And Noah smiles and confirms that, nope, in the compliance archive, it lives forever. Because unlike office gossip or intimidated coworkers, system logs simply do not care who you are or who just got a promotion. Deep in the IT server room, Emma and Noah hit the jackpot. They unearth an absolute smoking gun. It's the deleted meeting invite created by Lucas at 6:41 p.m. that Thursday, and the subject line is deeply incriminating. Quick alignment, final ownership cleanup. Yeah, ownership cleanup. As Noah accurately points out, that is just a very sanitized corporate way of saying let's hide the actual owner. And if you thought that subject line was bad, the attached meeting notes left zero doubt about what they were doing. The agenda explicitly spelled out their premeditated intent. Remove duplicated owner references before the board upload and confirm Maya does not join the Friday prep. This wasn't an accident. It was a calculated, documented conspiracy between Lucas, HR, and finance to isolate Maya and strategically strip her of credit for the very project she built from the ground up. When Emma finally takes this recovered invite to Maya, the emotional release is huge. It completely validates weeks of severe exhaustion for Maya. It vividly shows how workplace gaslighting can make victims deeply question their own reality. For weeks, Maya had been turning it over in her head, wondering if she was just a bad communicator or if she hadn't documented enough. Seeing this invite in black and white proved she wasn't going crazy. She was targeted. And let me tell you, that realization quickly transforms her exhaustion into a very focused, very cold anger. Which brings us to the climax. 4 p.m., a high-stakes internal review meeting in the main boardroom. The chief operating officer is there, senior director Clara is there, and true to form, Lucas tries his absolute hardest to run his usual manipulation playbook. He speaks up first to sound super reasonable and calm. He's actively trying to paint Maya as emotional and confused before anyone else even has a chance to present the facts, claiming everyone is just making, quote, unfair assumptions. But Emma isn't having any of it. She completely shuts his narrative down by projecting an undeniable timeline right onto the conference room screen. Using the cold, hard timestamps pulled directly from the audit log, she visually traps Lucas in his own lies. She walks the executives through it, minute by excruciating minute. The invite creation at 6:41, entering the room at 7:04, editing the slides at 7:18, ending the session, and then the ultimate cover-up, deleting the invite at 8:12 p.m. The entire boardroom goes dead silent. You could hear a pin drop. Lucas is visibly scrambling now. He starts stammering, claiming ownership cleanup could mean literally anything. But then IT specialist Noah delivers a massive, undeniable blow. He drops the number 23. Why 23? Because Maya's original, unique file ID was still deeply embedded in the metadata of 23 different slides in Lucas's supposedly original presentation deck. He hadn't built a single thing. He had just sloppily pasted over her foundational work. And just when you think it can't get any worse for him, Noah reveals the final nail in the coffin. The compliance log proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that Lucas copied the entire source package directly from Maya's private workspace at exactly 11:32 p.m. No authorization record whatsoever. Right before he did his flashy 11:59 p.m. project upload to claim all the credit. That digital footprint is absolute. It is irrefutable. In a really desperate last stand, Lucas tries to spin this midnight copying as just normal team collaboration, leaning on the fact that Maya had previously shared some materials with the team. But Maya, who has been quietly watching this entire meltdown, finally speaks up. And she delivers a masterclass in setting boundaries. She completely shatters his defense by saying, "I shared the dashboard. I did not share permission to erase my name." Boom. Intellectual theft, plain and simple. You know what is so incredibly satisfying about how this all went down? It's the simple truth that facts do not need to shout. Lucas didn't fall because Maya screamed at him or because Emma threw a massive fit in the boardroom. He fell because the quiet, sequential facts simply backed him into a corner. When placed in the exact chronological order, the raw data told the truth so much louder than any emotional argument ever could. By 6:30 p.m. that evening, Lucas's system access was completely suspended. Now, it would have been really easy for Maya to just gloat while HR packed up Lucas's desk. But instead, she steps into a place of profound professional empowerment. To secure a lasting victory, she demands 3 structural changes from leadership. First, a fully corrected official project record. Second, a formal written acknowledgement of her sole contribution. And third, a brand new company-wide policy preventing anyone from having their authorship removed without documented approval. And honestly, this brings us to the absolute core lesson of this entire explainer. Maya's demands perfectly illustrate the mature, vital difference between revenge and repair. Listen,
Revenge just wants a specific person to suffer for what they did. But repair? True systemic repair makes absolutely sure the workplace is structurally safer for the next person. Maya didn't just want Lucas gone. She wanted to fix the broken system that allowed a guy like him to thrive in the first place.
So justice is served, right? Well, just as the dust is finally settling on this corporate thriller, our quiet hero Emma returns to her desk. She opens her inbox and finds a mysterious anonymous email. It has a single attachment, and the subject line is a massive cliffhanger. You found the invite. Now find the invoice? Okay, the deleted invite proved the intellectual theft, for sure. But this new message, it heavily implies someone was actually getting paid for it, and it leaves us with one haunting question. What deeper, darker financial secrets are still hiding in the shadows of Heldon and Rowe? We'll have to find out next time.